So, you finally got it. Your holy grail. The one you've been waiting for. The Star Wars cab from Arcade 1UP. And let's face it, you absolutely love it. Looks great, plays great, but somewhere deep in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, I wish I could play a whole bunch of other flying and driving games on this cab as well. Well, have I got news for you. You are in luck because that is what we're going to be talking about today on Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Welcome everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscription button, click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video, give this one a thumbs up, and leave a comment below if you want to be part of the conversation. So what are we talking about today? Well, there's a company out there called the Buy Stuff Store or Buy Stuff Arcades who are pretty well known for doing a bunch of different mods for Arcade 1UP, at games, different things like that. And one of the ones that they're big for is a mod to Arcade 1UP's Ridge Racer that adds a bunch of different driving games to it. Well, they are back again with a similar mod for Star Wars. Check it out. So yesterday afternoon, the Buy Stuff Store posted this to the Arcade 1UP forum on Reddit. And it says the Star Wars mod kit pre-orders will go live today, Thursday, June 1st at noon Eastern. Please take a look at the video we're posting showing gameplay for many of the new yoke and flying games we're adding to the gaming box. Of course, like our Ridge Racer Outrun mod kits, the encoder board only option is also available for PC or console builds. So let's take a look at what they've got going on for Star Wars. So if you head on over to buystuffarcades.com, you can find this. This is their Star Wars mod kit. I will have links in the description below how to get to this and to the video that they posted on YouTube showing off the gameplay. And I'll show a little bit of that to you guys as well before we're done. So let's check this out. And it says pre-orders will open on June 1st at noon. So later on today, you should be able to pre-order this. And here's some of the options. So the first thing you have to do is pick which Star Wars arcade unit you have. Do you have the original from 2019 or the new one from 2023? And the new one is the one that I have. So let's just take a look and check that out. Then you have different yoke options. Now you can stick with the stock one from Arcade 1UP, or you can pick the GRS flight yoke. Now, I know a lot of you have modded your Star Wars to use Glenn's flight yoke, and if you have, this is the option you would want to choose. So then there are the options for the main kit. Now, there are two options available. You can get the encoder board only, which includes the plug-and-play encoder board replacement, power harness to power the screen, and marquee off the control deck, and a USB cable. And this is designed for those of you who want to put your own PC into this and run your own games off of it. Now, the other option, of course, is to get the gaming box kit directly from Buy Stuff Store, which has, I believe, over 200 different games on it, from flying games, racing games, Star Wars themed games, things like that. And here's what that is. It includes all of the above, plus the plug-and-play flying and racing game box, which comes complete with over 150 pre-configured racing games, 50 flying games, including 30 networked games. Now, another thing you'll notice here is they actually have three options for the gaming box, which is to get Flying Kit Player 1, Player 2, or Player 3 Plus. Now, what does that mean? Heading over to the FAQ, I'll show you what they're talking about. So what's the difference between Player 1, 2, and 3 Plus? It says here they should be purchased in numerical order unless you already have one of our compatible yoke and racing game boxes, or Ridge Racer or Outrun gaming boxes. So basically, the Player 1 kit is the master, which you need to have whether you plan on network gaming or not. Player 2 includes a pre-configured router and will work with your Player 1 for network gaming. Player 3 Plus will just add as extra players to the Player 1 master using the Player 2 router. All players will also work standalone, but you need to have a Player 1 and Player 2 before ordering a Player 3 Plus. So basically, if this is your only mod that you're going to do, you probably want to get Player 1. If you already have, say, like the Outrun mod And you want to be able to network these together to play similar games off of each other. Think of Fast and Furious for Arcade 1-Up, where it has linkability. Through this, they have a router built in so that you could link the cabs together and play. You could buy the player 2 option and put it in this, and your Outrun would be your player 1. So since they are going to have similar games in it, although I think this one has a few more than the Outrun one did, for those games that are networked, that are the same between those two cabs, you could actually play against each other, which is really, really cool. So if you are into the Buy Stuff Stores mods and you've done this already for Outrun or Ridge Racer, getting it for this would let you link them together and play together, which I think is a really neat idea. And here's a quick look at what the encoder board and the Buy Stuff Store box looks like. Then, of course, you could choose to include an HDMI converter board in it, which is required to convert the stock A1-Up Star Wars screen to an HDMI connection. There are sound upgrades available for it as well. You could add a rumble motor to it, which I think is a really cool idea. And then, of course, they also have riser boosters in either 4-inch or 6-inch. So you could raise the cab up a little bit more and get a little more height out of it. And then finally, there are pedal options as well. Since this comes with a bunch of different driving games on it, as well as flying and Star Wars and stuff, you need the pedals for those driving games. If you don't get pedals, you're going to be limited on the games that you can play on this. You won't be able to play some of the driving games that require pedals. Now, if you already have a set of Arcade 1-Up pedals, you could just put those into this and use that, and they'll just give you the hookups for it. If you don't have, or if you own, say, Thrustmaster or Logitech, same thing. You could get hookups for that. Or you could buy the pedals direct from the Buy Stuff store. They have their own set that you can get for this. Now, apparently, they're also looking for beta testers here, so that is something you could check out as well and see if you qualify or if you'd want to get in on their beta testing program. All right, so going over these options real quick just to show you an idea of what pricing is going to look like. Again, depending on which arcade you pick is not going to make a difference in price. There's a slight difference depending on whether you're going to use the stock yoke or the GRS flight yoke, because the GRS flight yoke needs an adapter. They're not showing the price here, but I'll show you what the overall is going to look like in a minute. Now, if you're just going to get the encoder board, it's going to set you back about $89, whereas if you want the encoder board with the gaming box kit, you're looking at about $225. The HDMI converter board is going to set you back another $24. And then again, depending on your sound upgrades, if you already have something that you plan on using, you don't need to buy anything. If you want to get an amp, you're looking at about anywhere from $35 to $60. Throw on that rumble motor for another $30. And then your riser boosters are going to be anywhere from $62 to $65, depending on which one you get. And then, of course, finally, there are the pedal options, where if you have the Arcade 1-Up pedals and you plan on using those, you just need an adapter for about $9, all the way up to if you're going to buy the pedals directly from the Buy Stuff store for $69, which is a pretty decent price for a set of pedals. Now, down at the bottom here, it's saying my price is $0 because they're out of stock. They haven't actually, put this up yet. Again, this is supposed to go live at noon today, so I'm assuming this will all open up at that point. But if I jump back up to the top, it will show me an overall price of about $409. Now, again, this will change back and forth depending on what you pick. If I wanted to use Glenn's flight yoke and I needed the adapter, that's going to throw a little bit extra in there. It's going to be about $418.95. Again, prices will go up and down depending on the options you pick, but you're looking at about $400 to get into adding this mod kit to your Star Wars. So there you go. Those are the options available to get this Star Wars mod kit, and a pretty decent idea of what it's going to set you back. All right, so before I wrap this up, I just want to show you a little bit of the video that the Buy Stuff store put out yesterday, which shows off some of the gameplay and the look of the mod running in the Star Wars cab. Again, I'll have a link to that full video in the description below so you can check the whole thing out for yourself, but here's just a little taste.
But let's first check out some of the Star Wars. So we have the classics. We have the Star Wars, the first one, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back. Let's jump into Star Wars here a minute. Okay, first thing you'll see is the vectors are super sharp. Very happy with that. You can it's the arcade ROM. You can calibrate your yoke the way it's designed to be. Sensitivity is fantastic. This is with the stock yoke, not the GRS. Currently, we are going to be compatible with the GRS as well. Plays extremely well.
All right, and that'll do it. That's just a quick look at what it looks like running on the Star Wars cap. You can check out the entire video from the Buy Stuff store on YouTube. The link will be below. Again, I will also have a link to the Buy Stuff store itself so that you can check out and purchase this mod if that's something you're interested in. Let me know in the description below. What do you guys think? Is this something that you'd be interested in doing for your Star Wars cabs? Would you want to put this in and add a bunch more games to it? Or maybe even just get the encoder board and throw your own PC in there so that you can run some different games than the ones that they provide. Well, again, you now have options if that's something that you want to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and that is going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.